Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. We're just about to head out for our morning walk this morning, and we thought we would quickly jump on here because we remembered that we said we were going to record this video. Some things that we wish we knew about traveling with a baby the first time. This one in particular. We just got back from our first road trip with our daughter Lila, who is now about 6 months. We're gonna head out for a walk. We learned a few things and we want to share them with you guys. So here's 7 things we wish you knew before traveling with a baby for the first time. We started coming to this track not long ago. It's a really nice little walk with Bear. I think it's meant to just be for bicycles, but it seems like everyone uses it for walking and running and
scooters.
Even scooters as well, yeah. But it's a really nice morning walk before it gets too hot. So we were a bit nervous when we were going on our first road trip with our daughter, of course. Definitely knew we were going to be a bit uncomfortable, but we're really happy that we pushed through and did it. I know it's like easy to make excuses to just stay home and not do it. I want to start with a positive thing that I didn't really realize would happen when we went traveling was I was just able to be more present, and I thought I would be more distracted or just like sort of hovering, like worrying about her, not being in my element. And for me, it seemed like Lloyd and I were better to it was easier for us to be more present with her and not as distracted with like chores or stuff that's just going on in the house. And I think that's why vacations are obviously important, but that was like a really positive thing. So being able to be more present, and because we're doing like elimination communication and all these other things where we're trying to watch her a lot, I found those things easier even when we were out of the house because I had less to worry about. So there's a big positive thing. If you're feeling overwhelmed at home, maybe taking a break and going on a road trip could be the answer, not a stress adder.
We actually got one comment in our last road trip video from I can't remember the person's name, but it said he told us just to chill out and stop traveling with our baby, just stay home, which I thought was pretty funny. I don't know, man. I think we'll just probably like do what we want to do instead of taking your advice. Like, it's just a road trip, bro. Like, relax, it's all good. So probably the most important thing for us was to remember that when things get tough, when we're lacking sleep, when Lila was teething like halfway through our road trip, it's easy to get cranky at each other, but we got to remember that we're on a team. That was the most important thing for us. So like, I know it sounds corny, but every day we would say to ourselves, like, especially when we were doing long drives, like, we're a team no matter what. If she is being difficult or we're tired or whatever, just remember that we're in this together. We're working together, like, we're not against each other, we're working with each other. Is that how you put it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that seemed to negate any just like irritation that you sometimes get when you're overstimulated. Traveling's very stimulating already, and then you put a baby on top of it. Yeah, it gets real.
Yeah, sometimes you can snap at your partner, which happens, but then it's important to remember, like, okay, we're both in this together, we're on the same team. It's us against the world, not us against each other. Okay,
so I did find also that we were like washing clothes a lot in sinks and in showers and things like that. So I would recommend, firstly, packing light. I thought bringing everything, problem solving would make me less stressed, like bringing everything with me in case of a worst case scenario or whatever, but having more stuff actually made me more stressed than just like dealing with what I had. And now I sort of know the things that I can get away with having and not having, and so I think it was good to bring maybe more on the first trip to sort of figure out exactly what I need. And now I feel like Lila and I can travel in just a carry-on for at least a week, just the two of us, which makes things so much simpler, like planning ahead what you're going to be wearing. And I would recommend also, so I actually just finished buying her some like light cotton black clothing. I know she's a girl, so I've tried to like keep her with like girly colors, but like while you're traveling, that's why Lloyd and I wear black, because it's like, you know, doesn't stain as easily. It's easier to wash in sinks, showers, that type of thing. And then cotton as well, like it's light, breathable, you can wear it anywhere. It's good for hot weather like this. I recommend getting dark wash clothing that's easy to wash in the sink, even bringing a bit of soap for that. Just keeps on top of the laundry, and then you can pack less as well.
Okay, so there is one thing that we actually did know about before traveling with our baby, but maybe you guys aren't aware, and that is the importance of having a digital eSIM, which is why we've been using Olafly eSIMs for over 3 years now since we left Australia. Look, if you're traveling in a car, especially with a baby in a country where you don't really speak the language, you need to have phone data, because you need to use Google Maps, you're gonna need to use Google Translate, and if you don't have data, then you could end up lost in the middle of nowhere, and not just the two of us, with our baby as well. So Olafly offers eSIM cards to over 200 destinations worldwide, which means no matter where you're going, you're not gonna have to worry about getting stung with one of those massive roaming fees when you get home. They also offer unlimited data plans, and their plans range from 1 to 90 days. They also have the tethering option for over 200 destinations. And there is also 24/7 multilingual customer support. So if you're watching this video because you're planning your first trip with your baby, I would highly suggest, if you want to take the stress out of travel and you want to stay connected while you're overseas, check out Olafly eSIM, because you can literally buy it a week before you leave and have it activated, ready to go, so that the minute you step off the plane, all you have to do is, with the one touch of a button, switch it off airplane mode, and it will connect to the nearest provider, and you don't have to worry about getting ripped off at any of these SIM card kiosks that you see at the airport and stuff like that for tourists. That's for people who don't know what they're doing. eSIMs are the way to go in 2025 and beyond. It's also 100% risk-free. If you want to buy your eSIM in advance and you change your mind for any reason, you will get a full refund as long as you haven't already used the eSIM. So go and check out Olafly eSIM for yourself. We'll leave a link down below in the description and in the pinned comments. And don't forget to use code Lloyd and Mandy at checkout, and you will get 5% off your eSIM purchase. All right, we'll get back to the video. So our first trip with Lila was a road trip, and I think from now on, whenever we go anywhere, I think we'll try and have a car, because it made it so much easier having a car. I think going somewhere and just relying on public transport, trains, buses, taxis, that sort of thing, with a baby can just make it so much more difficult, because yeah, there's times where you need to be on your own schedule and you need to be able to drive when you want to drive, not when the bus is leaving or the train's leaving or whatever. Sometimes a baby can have a meltdown, and when a baby's having a meltdown in the car, it's so much easier to deal with because it's just the three of us, as opposed to baby having a meltdown on public transport with a bunch of other people around.
Yeah.
I feel like part of the stress with a baby crying is that you're disturbing other people, and that makes it way more stressful. If it's just the two of us, it's like, okay, we can deal with it, it's fine. But having the freedom of having your own car, I think, is crucial if you're traveling with a baby.
Yeah, I think just for a first try anyway, like just knowing how the baby reacts to things and how you guys react in situations, like how it kind of just showed Lloyd and I how we would react to different things, because there was also a point where we had to get on a boat that ended up being 3 times as long as we thought it was going to be. We weren't sure how she was going to react to that. So like there's different times that you're gonna have to be uncomfortable, but having like your stable car that keeps you comfortable with everything that you need in it, the wipes, the nappies, all that stuff, makes it so much less stressful.
Also, you really need to be flexible and adaptable. So like the first night we got to our accommodation, we realized we didn't pack the seat, I don't know what you call it, the seat that she uses for the bathtub.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh shit, we got 3 weeks now where we were like, oh, we can't give her a bath. Like, how are we going to do this? Like, we don't have a seat. But then obviously, like, you can figure it out. We take her in the shower, or we just hold her in the bath. Like, you need to be adaptable. And then also with your time, like, you need to be flexible, like not having too many plans each day, because you don't know if you're going to wake up absolutely exhausted because the baby's been up all night. You don't know when the baby's going to want a nap. You don't know how you're going to be feeling each day. So we kind of just made plans every day as we were going, rather than having some sort of schedule that we had to stick to. That we found that a lot easier.
It takes pressure off the day as well, like not being so stressed that you have to be on time. It is, at the end of the day, like if you're going on holiday, I guess, with family, like it shouldn't be a stressful time. It should be like a calming, you know, time that you spend together. And the more you put pressure on yourself to do things like that, the whole family feels it and feels stressed out, I think.
So unfortunately, one thing that is lacking a little bit, just in actually Southeast Asia in general, like Bali was the same, is like walking tracks or sidewalks on most of the main roads. So like if you're staying at a hotel and you wake up and you just want to go for a walk to a cafe or a restaurant, you can, but you're pretty much walking on a main road. And like we enjoy going for walks in the morning first thing, mostly because of Bear, because he gets his exercise. So that is a little bit frustrating, but luckily we found this track here. We've got like another track around a big lake, which I think we've shown in previous videos. But yeah, it is a little bit of a frustration living in Thailand, like the lack of sidewalks and just like walking tracks in general. Like I feel like in Australia and Canada and Western countries, like that's a really common thing. But here, it seems like most people just jump on their scooter and ride around.
Yeah.
Is that funny?
Is that funny? Yeah. One thing that I found really helpful, what was really hard to like stay on top of though, was sticking to our exercise routine that we usually do when we're traveling. Just like we brought our yoga mat, sticking with that and trying to do it before Lila got up. And I'm still trying to stick to that. I'm not able to do it every day, absolutely not. But I'm just in a way better mood, and I'm able to show up for everyone else, both of us, like going to the gym or starting our day with exercise. Even while we're tired and traveling, it really makes a difference. Like you enjoy your time, you're happier with your family, you're able to show up more, you eat healthier when you exercise. So that's probably the hardest part, I think, of all of it, is staying with that, because sometimes she gets up at 5, so I'm getting up at 3 or 4 to do yoga or for us to get a run or something in. But sticking with that, again, helps with how we interact with each other, because at the end of the day, it's all about our energy and our nervous systems, how we're reacting to each other, and then she's responding to that. Not easier said than done, but yeah, so worth it. So worth it.
So that actually brings me to the last point, which is it's going to sound boring, but because Lila, and most babies I'm assuming, wake up before sunrise, going to bed early really helped a lot, because obviously when you're traveling most of the time, you're going to be co-sleeping, like you're going to be sharing a room with your baby. So we found that pretty much as soon as she went to sleep, we would try and go to sleep so that we're on the same sleep schedule. And when she does wake up early, we're not exhausted because we've been up till 10 or 11 or whatever every night watching movies or having dinner, whatever it is, room service. So just like having the discipline to go to bed early, we found we were doing most of our fun stuff in the first half of the day, like in the morning, going out for breakfast, going sightseeing in the morning, going to lunch, and then the night time is really just like bathing Lila, eating dinner and going to bed, which I know sounds boring, but it did actually make our holiday a lot more enjoyable because we were able to show up every day rested
Yeah.
and feeling good. And we still had so much fun anyway. Like, you can have, obviously things have changed for us. We used to go out at night, go out drinking and go out eating dinner. That's kind of gone away now. We've
shifted it.
just shifted to
Mornings.
enjoying the mornings and the days. We're morning people now.
Yeah, it took a while to shift for sure. But when you put more emphasis and try and like romanticize your mornings more, so like going for a nice breakfast instead of going for an expensive dinner or yoga class in the morning or something like that. Something that makes mornings more enjoyable. Because I think, yeah, we just were in the habit of making nights our thing, and now it just isn't, right?
Yeah. But anyways, guys, so look, if you have a baby and you want to travel and you've got people telling you to chill out and not travel with your baby, don't listen to them. Like, it's not that bad. I think it's actually one of the best times to travel, because I had some of the best memories as a kid traveling with my family. And even though Lila's a baby and she may not remember it, again, this is going to sound corny, but I think her nervous system will remember it. And obviously we've documented it on video, so she'll be able to go back and see it. Also, like, babies fly for free under 2 years old and get pretty much everything for free, and they pretty much get everything, like accommodation, everything is free under 2 or 3 years old. So it's the perfect time to travel. Don't worry about other people. We have yet to take a plane ride with Lila, so that's going to be a big test.
That's coming up soon.
We'll be doing that soon and we'll document that. But yeah, hopefully this encourages you guys to travel with your baby and not be too afraid, be adaptable and just enjoy it.
So one thing that I did notice with other parents while we were traveling, especially we were on the islands and going onto boats and things, the stroller was a handicap. Everyone that had a stroller seems to, like, it just wasn't convenient. Maybe just for traveling in Thailand, but if you're gonna be like, yeah, getting onto boats and things. I saw a lady dragging her stroller down the entire beach on Koh Samui in the sand. And so I was just really happy that we didn't bring ours, and or we did bring it, but we never ended up using it. And I used just the carrier the whole time, and it was just so much easier for just getting around. We didn't need the stroller, so there's just something to keep in mind, one less thing to pack. The carrier was just so much more convenient, so if your baby likes the carrier, you can probably leave the stroller at home for this type of travel and for sightseeing and getting in and out of cars and things. It just, yeah, that's what I think. And also, diaper bag wise, a backpack. You want both of your hands to be able to be with the baby and then not have to carry a side bag. So having a backpack and then a carrier, I was able to have 2 free hands still, and yeah, it was pretty handy.
I don't know if you can see it, but there's a really cool temple right up there. We've actually filmed a video there. If you come into Hua Hin, highly recommend visiting early in the morning too, before it gets too hot. It's a really, really peaceful place to go and visit, and you get a whole view of like all of Hua Hin, including the coast and the city.